Okay, friends, Doc South here, and sitting on the back deck, and which puts me back in the back in that wonderful state, North Carolina. Yep, when I lived down that way, Wilson, North Carolina, on Randolph Street, I had a little. I basically had a. I guess the house that I was renting was. Let's see. This was back in the 70s. I rented half the house. I think it was $80 a month. Yeah. And I wondered how I was going to pay for it because, well, I was coming down off of a very rough divorce, and I owed child support. So by the time I paid the child support and a few other things, it left me kind of tight for loot. So having a nice little half a house, or half a house, not a big house, and a porch was for about $80 a month was pretty good. But back then that was a fair amount of money. And so I basically shared. I was on one half of a house, and there was another fella on the other side who I think was in the same boat. His name was Juang. Juang was from Vietnam. He was with the Vietnamese Navy when Vietnam fell. Now again, this is back in I'm thinking the 70s somewhere, in that neck of the woods. So Vietnam had pretty much, I think, had recently fallen, if I recall right. And Juang was with the Vietnamese Navy back in the day. And I guess when Vietnam fell, his ship just joined up with the American Navy and vamoosed back to stateside. And Juang was granted citizenship for his service, and he had moved into Wilson, and he was my neighbor. Nice guy. Yep. He and I were both roughly the same size, same age, and all in all, a cool guy. The only thing I could say was I could hear him sometimes through the thin walls of our bungalow. It was basically a house that was cut down partitioned right down the middle, and I could hear him crying on the other side of the wall, because I guess he may have had family. Maybe it was married, I don't know, but there was no way he could go back. He'd be probably shot on sight, being an officer with the South Vietnamese Navy. So he just couldn't go. So if he had kids, well, hopefully the mom took care of them. I got a feeling he was single in Vietnam, but he may have had a sweetheart. In any case, we'd sit and talk on the deck and swap yarns and stuff. He still had a little trouble with English, but not bad. He was a pretty smart fellow from what I can gather. And but all of a sudden one day I look and he's grinning. Oh my God, he's so happy. I said, "What's up, Hong? What's up, Hong? What you doing?" He says, "I have a girlfriend. Oh. And I said, "Well, good for you, man. So where is she?" He said, "Come here. I have her come out and say hello." I said, "Yeah, cool." And God, he had the prettiest girl, Vietnamese girl too. Yep. Somehow they met in the city of Wilson, and they hit it off. Oh my heavens! You never saw such a happier camper than Juan. And me, I had a girlfriend or two as well. So, yeah, tranquility came to Randolph Street for us. And it was nice. It was fantastic. And but I know I didn't get to speak with the girl that much, but she seemed very nice. And Juang eventually, from what I gather, I found out later after I had moved from Wilson. I used to come back for visits. I found out later that Juan got, oh, he got made a citizen. Yeah. So he was a citizen from America. I remember it's probably the last time I spoke to him was when that had happened. And I was just down for a visit. He said, "I'm not afraid anymore. I'm American." And I said, "Good, good. How's the wife?" "Oh, very good, very good." I said, "You going to have kids?" "Yes, I think so." And just, it was nice to see. And I guess he had been through the mill with Vietnam, and heaven knows some of the sea battles he might have been in, going after, I guess, some of the North Vietnamese Navy, uh, with the U.S. Navy on his side. But I think he had some tough times in the war, and finally peace came to Huang, and well, I would hope he's still alive. It was some years ago now, and he was a bit older than me, so he'd be in his high 70s, early 80s now, and one can only hope that he's got himself lots of grandchildren and a kid or two. I mean, a grown-up kid or two, grandchildren, and maybe some great-grandchildren too. You never know. Anyway, he's a good guy. And boy, could he cook. Oh, some of that Vietnamese food. Oh, Mamma Mia. I shouldn't say Mamma Mia. There must be some other word. I don't know it. But it was sweet. And I'd make him some of my stuff. Yeah. I'd make him a perfectly good cheeseburger or something like that. Maybe fry some chicken. Or he really liked when I made spaghetti. Yeah. He wanted to figure out how to make that spaghetti. And show him how to make sauce and everything. He'd be, oh yeah, he kind of dug those meatballs. In any case, good guy, and one can only hope he's still alive with all sorts of children and grandchildren running around the house. That would be good. I'll see you later. Bye now. God bless.